All right, we're going to look at doing this isometric view over here of this object. Right, what we are going to look at is, first of all, just getting all the dimensions so that I can see where they're coming from. To do that, I'm going to take a line coming out from the bottom of the top view over there, line coming up here from the left-hand side of my right view, and I'm going to take a 45-degree angle going from that little cross over there, that intersection, and I can now take measurements from that view. You can see where all of these things link up over here, hidden detail over there, and I can drop that down into this view over here to get all of the different measurements from that view across into this view and vice versa. I can then also take lines coming across over here from the front view to find all of these points over here, and that is really important to get those so that you can see where the measurements are linking up. And once you've got that, I can now come over here and I can say, all right, I've got my point A, it is in my right hand on the front view, therefore I need to move up to the left hand side to get the view in the correct position. Taking a line going out over there, and it says that I must measure off 85 millimeters on my front view. Take 85 millimeters on a pair of dividers, knock that down over here, make a little nick, and I can now take a line going straight up over there. Right, I'm going to measure off the 110 millimeters right at the back there, 110 millimeters in the height. Take that, pop that in there, mark it off over there. Draw a line coming forward over here. Right, there we go. And I can draw a line going up over here. And from there, I can take a line going out there, a line coming out over there, and a line going out over there. Once I've got that, I need to measure off this 80 millimeters, going off to the right-hand side, 80 millimeters, and I can then measure off that from there to there, and draw in a line going up over here, right, and a line going across over there. Right, once we've got that in place, I now have that nice little fish tank, and I'm going to draw out whatever I'm seeing over here. You can see the little edges over there. That's what we're going to aim at. So I measure off 30 millimeters going across over there, 30 millimeters from that corner going over there, and I draw a little construction line going up over here. And it says that I need to measure 35 millimeters, measuring 35 millimeters going over there, mark that off, and I'm going to draw in a line going over there. I can draw that in straight away as a dark line going from there to there, and a dark line coming down from there to there. I can take that right the way across to the front of this. There we go. And I can take a line going straight to the top over here. There we go. It says that I need to measure across 10 millimeters at the top there. So we measure 10 millimeters coming across at the top. Knock that in there, mark that, and draw in a nice dark little line coming across there. Right, I'm going to drop in a line coming down over here, and it says that I need to measure down 15 millimeters over there. Take a measurement of 15 millimeters, knock that in over here, and draw in a line coming down, just as I can there, and a line coming across over here. Right, it says that I need to measure across 20 millimeters there, 20 millimeters coming across, knock that in over there, and draw in a line coming across, next there. Right, I then measure up over here. I'm just going to draw a little construction line going up over there, and it says that I need to measure down 10 millimeters from the very top. Now I've got the very top because of the fish tank, which means that it's easy to measure that out. So 10 millimeters coming down from the top, giving me that 5 millimeters over there, and I can draw in a line coming down there. Take a line coming across over here, and it says that I need to measure across 15 millimeters there. There we go, 15 millimeters. Take that, knock that in over there, draw in that line going across over there. Okay, I then drop all the way down, and I need a measurement of 21 millimeters coming up to that point over there. take a measurement of 21 millimeters, knock that in over there, draw in a construction line coming across over here, and I can drop in a line coming straight down over here with my nice dark pencil coming all the way down there, and a line coming across over here from there to there. Right, once we've got that, I can drop in a line coming over here, and you can see basically that funny shape over there drawn out in isometric. Okay, note all of those measurements are exactly the same as these measurements over here. Right, the next thing is I'm going to come to the top, and you can see these lines go all the way across, all the way across, all the way across, all the way across. So that's easy enough. I'm going to take lines going all the way across there, all the way across there. Take a line like that, across there. These two lines over here are they're also coming across the same distance, so I'm just going to take a line coming across there, a line coming across there, and I can take this measurement. Note it's the same measurement as that. Measure that off from that corner over there, measuring it off over there, and draw in that line going across over here to there, and I can draw in a line coming across from there to there, draw in a line coming across from there to there, and I can drop in a line coming down from here, and a line coming across from there to there. That was a bit silly. I just made a big mistake there by drawing that all the way down to there. Take that, just erase that line very quickly, and I'm going to draw in a line coming across over here. There we go. Right, once I've got that in place, I'm now going to draw in a line coming across over here. You'll see that I have got this 80 millimeters, and in the middle over here, 40 by 40, I need that point over there. So what I do now is I find that by taking, I'm just going to take another color over here just to show this off. I take a line coming out straight across over here, and a line coming down over here. And if I draw a line going back at 30 degrees, I won't need to measure off that 40 and 40 and get it wrong. I know that I've got a beautiful bisection of that line, and I can now take a line going straight up over there. It says that I need to measure 21 millimeters up, which I've got there, and then another 75 millimeters going up there. Take that going from there up to there. Right, once I've got that, I can draw in non-isometric lines. Okay, in Greek, apparently, iso means the same, okay, and metric means measurement. So if you look at it, isometric means the same measurements. All right, now I want you to look at this idea of all the measurements that go off at that 30-degree angle or going straight up. They're going to be exactly the same measurements as you've got here. But over here, these are called non-isometric lines, and the reason being is that that measurement over there is no longer the same as the measurement over here. You can see that and that are not the same, but on this drawing they are. So those are non-isometric lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the other line that needs to come up over here from that corner at that same angle. What I do there, I'm going to take a line coming across over here, and I take my two set squares lined up together. Let's just get that, so it's like that. All right, and I'm going to slide it across to get that point over there. Once I've got that in place, I can then draw in a line going up from there to there, and I can draw in this line coming across from there. If this line would just not get all messed up. Right, let's just get my page sorted out. Just got ripped off the board. There we go, like that. Line that over there and take that across there. Right, once I've got that, I drop a line coming straight down over here, and I have my isometric view done. It says over here that I need to move 30 millimeters back into the object. If I measure off 30 millimeters over there, you'll find that I can't actually see that back corner. I'm just going to do that quickly so you can see it. 30 millimeters, you can see that's going to be right back in this thing over here. Let's just draw that line so that you can see it. There, measuring off 30 millimeters, you can see that you're not going to be able to see the back corner of this thing, so you don't need to worry about any more lines. Okay, there we go. That is that drawing done.